Hello, good day, everyone. Yes, in continuation of AWS Security Services, I have been working on is a series of giving an explanation on the business problem that AWS services, different AWS services, kind of answer. So today I want to talk about something that is very important, especially within AWS landscape and its native utility within AWS landscape. Before I get into that, once again, my name is John Kayode Abusi, and I said that my job sit at the intersection of software and product security, engineering, and architecture. So today, we want to look at AWS Security Hub. The tagline within AWS documentation is, it prioritizes your critical security issues and help you respond to it at scale. Now, what does that mean? AWS is more or less like your detection and response tooling. It's native to AWS. This means that it's a very vital tool within your SOC function. It's very, very handy when it comes to your SOC function. So AWS Security Hub is a centralized cloud security and compliance management service. Now, what it does is that it allows you to collect and correlate findings from different toolings like AWS, GuardDuty, Amazon Inspector, Amazon Macie, AWS Config, Access Analyzer, third-party security vendors. Now, that shows that every other security tooling with the AWS environment can actually submit their findings into a central hub called Security Hub. And this Security Hub, being a compliance management tool, it has been able to bring into within its native capabilities ability to measure your security posture, against security frameworks and compliance body. So it will be able to tell you, give you a posture like, okay, this is how much you are doing. This is what is left for you to do. So what are the core purpose of Security Hub? Too many security tools, different finding format, non-centralized visibility, manual remediation. Now, how does Security Hub? So these are the problems that Security Hub kind of, solve. But how does it solve this problem? It aggregates findings, into one place. Instead of having it in silos, maybe you have the findings of, Amazon Macie somewhere, AWS config somewhere. Now it allows you to configure everything. It uses standardized format. That shows that you're not having a log file of findings or an alert coming from, using different format from different locations. You have to work a lot to put them together. But this has been done. It's use a standardized format. Gives organization wide dashboard. So that shows that now, instead of you have to hunt around for, for different toolings, now you have a centralized wide, organizational wide dashboard. Support automation workflow. It allows you to, to automate some of your workflows and makes life more, more easier. So AWS Security Hub and Security Standard versus important integrations. Now, I want us to look at something here. We have something we call a standard called AWS Foundational Security Best Practices, FSBP. Now, the Security Hub is built around this best practice. That shows that this Security Hub follows this best practice. So when you use this Security Hub, invariably you are following that practice as well. We have CIS AWS Foundation benchmark is CIS compliance. This is another thing that it does comply with. So Security Hub evaluate your environment against these standards. Is your environment configured in compliance with FSBP? Is your environment configured against CIS compliant? CIS. Is it compliant against a PCI-DSS or NIST framework? So this particular hub allows you, it helps you to measure your configuration, your environment, your security posture against these standard frameworks and standard frameworks. So that at the end of the day, to now report, you know what needs to be done, what has been done properly, and what needs to be done. Now, if you look at, let me just draw you down some of the toolings where Security Hub is taking its input from. Number one, like I mentioned earlier, is GuardDuty. GuardDuty is a threat detection, tool within the AWS environment. Inspector, we have what we call AWS Inspector, is a vulnerability scanning tool. So it scans a report. Then we have Macie, we have sensitive data discovery. Then we have our access analyzer is excessive permission, firewall, network policy finding, detection. We have investigation, cloud ready is all about auditing log, and event bridge is all about automation. Now imagine that all these different services and tooling within AWS that are considered security toolings submit their findings into a central repository. And that central repository is not just a repository, but it's engineered in such a way that it could measure, it could look at your workflow for your security functions and workflows and pipelines and measure how well you are doing against standards within security environment. So this is what you get from a Security Hub. Now, when you look at, like I said, it gives you opportunity to kind of consolidate your security toolings. It does that very, very well. So one thing I want to say, let me just read some things I put down here. It's centralized security findings. I've explained that. Cloud security posture management, automated standard evaluation. These two continuously run automated configuration check against industry standard. That's what I'm saying. I explained that. So it constantly run your configuration and the findings within your toolings against security standard to know whether you are measuring up or not. And that gives you visibility on what you need to do, what you are doing right, and what you need to improve upon. Then the other thing is intelligent risk prioritization, exposure findings. Now, Security Hub correlates and enrich separate telemetry signals. It maps resource association to detect complex attack path. Now, one of the things it does is that it look at kind of enrich your findings from different sources and be able to communicate to you, okay, what kind of resource can be affected or exposed, security-wise here. So you get that. Then the other thing you get is unified cross-region findings aggregation. Configure a single aggregation region where findings from all activated global AWS regions are securely forwarded, eliminating the need for analysts to manually, hop between regions and consoles. So this is another value that it delivers to you. It allows you to configure your hub in one region and other regions will forward their findings to that and gives your SOC operation more streamlined function. So this is what are the business problem this particular tool is solved. Number one, alert fatigue and finding fragmentation. When you have to hope over different toolings and different services to get your alert, to get your findings together, it becomes so fatigue. So, and the fragmentation, it fragmented all across places within your function and stuff like that. But this problem is solved by using a centralized hub like Security Hub. Then we have cross-tool schema management. Now, apart from the fact that this is a native tooling in AWS environment and integrate very well with other security tooling with AWS, the other thing it does is that it allows you to actually integrate with other third-party applications like some SOA tooling like Splunk, like Chronologist, all of that, simple Datadog and what have you. It allows you to do that. Then the other business problem is solved is continuous compliance and tracking blind spot, because this is checking all your findings against standards, CIS, FSBP, PCI-DSS, NIST, and what have you. And then it continually give you a real-time posture, how well you are doing against these standards, and trying to give you an understanding of your blind spot where you need to improve upon, like I mentioned the last time. So what do you do to productionize? How do you get this into your production? Number one is that you have to make sure you run a multi-account landing zone. Deploy Security Hub via AWS organization. I've explained what AWS organization is all about. This is the kind of workload that AWS organization allows you to streamline or to scale. So do that. Then the other thing is a cross-service dependency baseline. For full production capability, including exposure findings and attack path visualization, you must co-activate the core telemetry provider, deploy Security Hub CSPM along Amazon inspector. So for this to function properly, to deliver its full capacity, you need to enable some other AWS services like Security Hub CSPM and Amazon inspector. Then what other thing you need to do if you are bringing this to a production environment is automated serverless remediation. Stream critical Security Hub findings directly to Amazon Event Bridge. So if you are streaming anything that is critical within this workflow to Event Bridge, that will give you the opportunity to kind of do some level of automation using a serverless services like Lambda. Fine-grained suppression rules. So another thing you have to note that you can bring to your production environment is to build custom suppression rules, inside the Security Hub console or via infrastructure as a code pipeline. Archive low risks. For instance, it's a normal, like a best practice when you don't want to get too overwhelmed by alerts and stuff like that. It's better you have a way to suppress what you actually, things that you consider low risk or maybe medium, or based on your security definitions and the way you run your environment. Anything that doesn't maybe fall within the categories that require your effort, you can kind of find a way of of automating them away from and suppress that. Okay, so folks, that is that from me about AWS Security Hub, and thank you. Oh, before I go, so I'm going to do some hands-on on how to enable it and how to get some other services along with it in production environment. So at the bottom of this video, you can check out whether the GitHub repository or other videos, that kind of take care of the hands-on environment. Thank you.